Hey Jack, here with Two Brothers Adventures. My brother Travis and I were just going through some of our knife collections. We come across a couple of old friends that brought back a lot of memories for us. These are our Buck 110 folding hunting knives. Anybody that says that we don't use our gear and use it hard to its fullest potential, maybe this will prove otherwise. We carried these for a lot of years when we were living on the farm in southern Utah, doing a lot of work outside. We carried these daily on our belts. This is mine. As you can see, the sheath's not in the best of shape. This is all from daily wear and tear. It's coming apart right here. I've got a little bit of fishing line right here that I'd re-sewn it with once. The back belt loop is coming off a little bit. I've re-sewn that a couple of times. Anyways, but it's still overall, it's still functional. My knife has been well used and actually abused. I don't know if the camera will be able to pick it up, but there's been a lot of hammering that I've done on the end here. Up on here, you can see there's been a lot of hammering done on these brass portions here. But the pins are still tight, and still nothing wrong. The handles haven't popped off. None of the pins are loose. As you can see, if you're familiar with the 110 Hunter at all, that blade has been sharpened, and it's very skinny now. Probably a quarter of an inch or so is missing from that blade. That's just through repeated use and sharpening. I've cut asphalt tiles with this for roofing, you name it, and this knife's been through it. But even with all that, the locking mechanism is still strong, still works. None of the pins have come loose, none of the handles have come off or any problem. I mean, this knife, if you can see here, I've used it to pound nails. I don't know if you can see that at all on there, but this knife has just been thoroughly used. I considered this a tool. This was like a hammer to me, no pun intended, but I mean, I just used it for whatever I need to use it for, and my philosophy was that if it broke and I needed to replace it, I would. At the time, these 110 folders weren't that expensive like they are now, so it was just one of those things that you used, and if it failed, you replaced it with another one or something else. So anyways, that's mine. As you can see, my brother's, he carried his daily too. I don't think for as long as I did, but he kept his in just a little bit better shape than mine. But as you can see, the sheath is well worn inside. It's had a lot of use. On the back, his stuff is still intact, but still a very serviceable sheath. There's nothing wrong with that. His knife also, you can see he's actually used it to hammer more than I have on there. And his pins are still intact. The handles are still intact. A little bit of snap wear there on the handle, but other than that, the locking mechanism is still solid. Still works perfectly. As you can see, his blade hasn't been sharpened quite as much as mine, but it still has been sharpened and used quite a bit. So anyways, we just wanted to show you these well-used, well-worn Buck 110s. They're still a serviceable knife. That's why we still have them. We don't carry them every day now, but they're a backup knife in our hunting kit that we take out in case we need it. These knife blades, even though they're down that much, or sharpened down that much, are still sharp and still serviceable. So anyways, this just shows you the abuse and the hard work that you can give a good quality piece of equipment, and it'll last you a long time.